Hi, I'm Owen Canfield with the Oklahoman. Seated to my right is Mark Costello, the state's labor commissioner, and Mark just got done talking across the street at the Cox Convention Center to those gathered for the Southern Republican Leadership Conference. Mark, thank you first of all for being here today, coming downtown to be with us.
You bet, Mr. Canfield.
It's Owen, please.
Owen, all right.
Let me ask you, what did you say in your brief remarks to those gathered across the street today?
I talked about how my life experience drew me to the Republican Party.
Okay.
And specifically, one of those life experiences was meeting a Catholic bishop from one of the largest Polish cities in the world, Chicago. And Bishop Wojtyla told me about when Poles would come from the Soviet Union or from Poland, go to Chicago, the first thing they would visit was a grocery store. And they thought it was a Potemkin village, a put-on, because they saw 30 different sizes of peanut butter, 40 different types of bread. Huh. They thought it was a show.
Make-believe.
Make-believe, and no, their relative says, no, this really is the fruit of free people in a free market. And in my mind, that is what's great about America. And I think it also is a demarcation today between our party and our separated brethren who really do believe in state control of everything from education to health care.
What kind of reception did you get? It's a red meat crowd, so I'm sure it went over well.
It is a very conservative crowd, and my best critic is my wife, and she liked it. And
Good.
Of course, it's a personal story of why I believe and think and act as I do. So it's easy to share, and I think it was well received.
You know, this is a big event for Oklahoma City. We'll have several, 10 or 11, 12, 13 potential Republican candidates making their way through to talk to those gathered. What is it you are hoping to hear, if anything, in particular, from the men and women who will speak this weekend?
Well, I'm just delighted they are here.
Right.
Now I know what it feels like to be Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina. And I just think it's a wonderful thing for Oklahoma, and particularly the Republican Party, that we have these high caliber people. And, you know, some people are talking about how many of them. But yes, you know, we have a deep bench. We have a lot of talent. And I'm glad they're here. I'm glad that we're having this. Well,
it's an interesting debate as to whether that big deep bench is a good thing going down the road or maybe a handicap, because on the other side you have, it would seem, just one candidate who can sit back and marshal her resources and get ready for November of next year, whereas the Republican field will have to be doing, you know, a battle between now and probably next summer. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that look, in the words of Fred Harris, there's going to be a winnowing process.
Sure.
And I think that winnowing process will lead us to Bush, to Rubio, and Scott Walker. And I think Scott Walker seems to have very cross appeal to all sorts of Republicans. And I think he'll be the last man standing.
Wow, I heard it here first. Let me ask you a quick question about life in the Labor Department. How you won re-election? I'm not even sure. Were you challenged last time?
I did have a challenger, and
I've forgotten. I apologize.
Well, that's okay. And I won handily, but it's our year. It was our year.
Right. Let me ask you this: what do you think went well for you in the first 4 years, and what are you hoping to get done before you're termed out in 3 more?
Well, when I came into office, I brought my private sector business experience, and I quickly realized it's not the private sector. But I did realize that we have an obligation to copy the best practices of Arkansas in regards to workers' compensation. We have to be aware that we have tax policies of contiguous states that we have to keep our eye on. At the end of the day, if we have a better practice, let's say in corrections in Texas,
right,
we need to bring it here. Not having a profit motive makes it different, but it doesn't make it such that we cannot make significant improvements both in bureaucracy and in general in the state of Oklahoma.
Labor Commissioner Mark Costello, thank you, sir, for coming by today, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.